Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I'll explain why in just a second. Let's give people time to filter on in and join us, and we'll get this show on the road. I also want to say, everything that I share is from my walk, things that I've experienced, learned, moved past, moved forward, and have come out or, popped out the other side to this renewing of my mind and my heart. And so, whenever I am putting out information or things like that, realize it's coming from a good place. It is for just in case somebody else may be stuck in the same type of a paradigm or conundrum that I have been, and to help you be able to find your way out to your identity, to who you truly are. Now, today it is can you handle the truth? Accuser and double minded, identity and new earth. So I have went and I put together again a slideshow that, I think it's nice to put together some, images to kind of tell the story, and then, to help us to, understand what's going on within so many people in this now moment, during this event of restoration, renewal, realizing that who you are, and coming out of a system, instead of looking for something that is in the future, we're actually coming out of that very system and into the truth. Everything is like I said, when this all happened, it was like everything was inverted and upside down. And when it starts to resonate within you, and you start walking it out daily in your daily walk, your faith walk, and I'm telling you, it doesn't really matter to me what belief structure that you follow. That none of that matters. What culture, color, whatever we think that divides us here, whether you've got a doctorate degree, a PhD, or bachelor's degree, associate's degree, or high school diploma, or not even that. None of that matters. Those are lower ways of thinking about who we are to each other. And I know I've been, talking about this problem that, came up out of nowhere, and why I wouldn't seek any type of retribution, and why I do not want anybody to do anything is because just because somebody else is confused doesn't mean I'm confused about who they are. Now, do we have to tolerate when somebody is not being, very nice to us? No. We all have free will, sovereignty, unique beauty, divineness within us. If somebody's not treating you right, walk away. You have the right to walk away. If somebody's trying to oppress or subvert or try to control you in any manner that is stifling you, walk away. But do it knowing who they are. It doesn't matter where they're at, but you still know who they are, with love in your heart. And there's hope for everybody. And hope is a word that is used, but there's a really good reason for hope. Because if we walked away and thought of people as I just now put it on live chat so I can see you guys. If we walked away from people and we just said, oh well, they're an NPC, or they're so lost they're beyond saving, or any of those things. Well, we're still twisted a little in our mind on who that actual individual is, and who they're an expression of, and what their identity truly is. That's why we walk away in love. We know who they are, so why would we ever do anything to hurt another? So, all right, let's get into this slideshow, and then I have some other announcements that I want to make towards the end about some other things that are coming into my awareness to, so we can get everything handled. And I do want to say in the beginning of this that the IMEC conference is this week, and the link, if you do not have it, to the channel where you're able to watch all of these different expressions of how the Mandela effect has affected and what it is, the causation from the Mandela effect, where they have grown into, and all the different phenomena and anomalies is going on this week. And it is for free online, available to all. If you've missed any of it, those are there also. But be ready to do a 7.5 hour binge, because it's really hard to shut it off. Where when you follow the conference along with its schedule, you get a little break in between. They link them all together, and each speaker just builds on top of the other. So that link is in the description box for anybody who's interested in the Mandela Effect conference. And this is the second year. First year, Jerry Hicks, Dark Wolf, or the Dark Wolf's Den, put it together. I didn't mention that last time. This year is the second year of organizing such an event. And oh my goodness, you guys, wow. Wow. That's all I have to say. Is just, it's so exciting to see how many people actually turned out last year for his first one, and how it is multiplied this year, which should show us that more and more of us are becoming aware to the flowing nature of this beautiful place in which we inhabit. All right, so let's start. I'm going to go through these images, and it's going to take me out of the way. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay. Oh, no, I want that out of the way. Sorry. Okay, this is Monday. We see a man on his knees. Who knows what happened within his life, but notice his age. He says, "Oh Lord, please forgive me. I'm a sinner. Come into my heart, Lord Jesus." This is the Monday image. Now, absorb it, you guys. Pay attention as I am showing you these in order. Okay, now we'll go to, where are you at? Tuesday. Here's the Tuesday man. Tuesday, I must read and study God's word. I'm his servant. Think about what is being said and what this man is going through. Now we'll go to Wednesday. All images are used for educational purposes. Okay, now we're looking at Wednesday. I'm late. I don't have time for Bible reading. Maybe I'm really not saved. My life isn't good enough. Gasp. I can't be saved. But look who's sitting at the top. Look who the prayers and who the supplications are going to. Think about it. Look at the message that is being shared here. Even maybe without their knowledge, they were actually giving us the truth in their messaging. Okay, let's go to Thursday. Again, look who's up in the clouds, guys. Okay, Thursday. Oh Lord, please forgive me. I'm a sinner. Come into my heart, Lord Jesus. So, he's praying and supplicating the same prayer over and over, and getting worse and worse in his condition. It's sad. Okay, now let's go to, this would be Friday's image. Okay, you demon, in the name of Jesus, I command you to leave. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Romans 10, verse 13. I have done this, dash. I am saved, explanation point. But look at the face on him. Look at his face. Does he look happy, full of joy, walking in the promises? Does he? I mean, this is very telling when you actually, check out what's going on here. Okay, the next one. Where did they go? Where did they go now? Okay. New status of man. Let's see. There we go. After all he had been through, now this is where he stands. He's double-minded. He doesn't know, what's within him, or does he pray from without? I'm going to give you guys some parables after we're done looking at this image. But here he is now double-minded. In one case, he's judging all things, all people, condemning. On the other hand, he's full of love and giving good gifts to his family, understands unconditional love, understands sovereignty, understands the very being that he is. But on the other hand, that other side of his mind is judging all things, determining, are they good, are they bad, condemning some, while saying other things are good. Okay, let's get to the next image. Okay, this one is a description. You're gonna move me out of the way. Okay, the devil. Okay, he can be resisted. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 9. Okay, he can't get past God's hedge of protection around us. Job 1, verse 10. He is on a leash. He can't do anything without God's permission. Job and Jude 6. Jesus disarmed Satan and the demons at the cross and made a public spectacle of them. Colossians 2, verse 15. All he has to work with is his schemes, wiles, lies, and deceptions. And the last bullet point says, he dwells in darkness and will spend eternity in everlasting torment in hell. Now, when we are, and even in the Bible, which we've been talking about with religion, about how many different factions and fractions of Christianity has broken into different denominations, different doctrines, different understandings that they fractured off into between. I'm not going to give an exact number because each of them were different, and I don't think they have an exact number because there could even be at-home small groups. We think about Jim Jones or Manson, where they have these little culty type ideology of their own interpretation of the Bible. But I want to tell you, my friends, that beautiful book, the same one that got us confused, can get us unconfused. So don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. That when you can rightly divide, that book can pull you out and answer all kinds of wonderful things within us. Okay, and I'm going to show you an image of the accuser. Now, the accuser is mentioned in the Bible in several places. Are you an accuser of the brethren? Do you go around judging other people? Do you damn them? Do you want to condemn them? Are you judging their lifestyle, the skin color, their culture, their beliefs? If we are, we're accusing our brethren, our brothers and sisters. So it's like an identity crisis. It's like coming to the loving knowledge of where are you now in identifying who you are, what part you're playing, and but again, I'm going to go back to the word hope. There is hope. There's always hope. And the last image I want to share is, blessed are the pure in heart. And notice it is a cloud in the sky shaped like a heart. Isn't that just beautiful? Isn't that, it is amazing, because what you find is that everything around you, what you see in the heavens, what you see on earth, what you see in other people, changes. Everything changes. You get a completely, it's like a renewal of your mind, a renewal of your spirit, a renewal of all things. Okay, I'm going to have to pull me back up. It's going to give me a second, guys. Oh, I got to make sure that I didn't do what I did last time. I think you guys remember. Okay, slowly but surely. Here we go. We're getting there. Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. Here I am. And let's bring up that beautiful background. Okay. Hey, I disappeared. Where'd I go? There I am. Okay. So, as you've seen, as I shared there with you guys, that, we can get very, very confused when we outsource or listen. Now, what I want to talk now about is I want to take you guys on a mental exercise, a little memory game, something for us to think about. And um, my dog just decided he wanted to chat with us. Something I want people to think about and introspect within you, within your heart, um, whether it be when you were 5 or when you were 4 or when you were 3. Let's say the moms got together and you had a play date. And on that play date, you sat there and you played with the toys. You want to toss them out, babe? Wait, okay, you were at the play date and you were playing with toys. Didn't matter whose house. You didn't worry about what was yours and what was theirs. You enjoyed playing with each other. It wasn't a competition. It was more about having the companionship and playing together. It wasn't a fight over, that's mine, don't touch it or any of that. And then think about, when did you learn that there was a separation where this is mine, this is yours, don't touch my stuff, don't, and somebody else says, don't touch my stuff. Stop sharing, or sharing so openly like we did when we were young. We didn't put labels on things. We just enjoyed each other and had fun, whether it be crayons and we got one box and we're coloring together. Nobody claimed the crayons. Nobody, claimed, I'm using only these colors. You can't use them because this is what I'm going to use. This things like that. And then we learn the separation thing. And then when we separate, then we start judging. And when we start judging, we start excluding. And then when we start excluding, we start making law. And then when there's law, no one is justified because everybody falls short of law. Christ himself said so, being the reason why he nailed it to the cross. Also, why he says you have to have the innocence of a small child in order to enter the kingdom of heaven. Well, as we walk here on earth in this place, some people are having a heavenly walk, while other people are having a different perspective, seeing different things. They see darkness or separation, or are judging or accusing. We always need to bridle our tongue and our thoughts, because understanding and understanding who we are and where it is that we find the truth is confounding at first, but it's been made so simple and so beautiful that it's like, oh my gosh, what the heck was I doing? Why was I seeking for things outside of myself when everything I needed was right here within me? Let's talk for a moment about the beast system. Are we still waiting for the man of sin to be revealed? Are we waiting for the beast system to unravel? Well, if we're under law, obviously, if we need laws, or we think we need laws, then we don't trust our neighbors. Do you trust yourself? In your heart, is it in you to cause harm to another? If it's not, why would you think that your neighbor's heart would be any different? When we put laws and restrictions, and this goes into, talk about those two giants, of control. Put laws, what they do is they oppress expression. When it oppresses expression, then you withhold. And when you withhold, you begin to judge, and because you become bitter and you're oppressed. And guess what? Now you're more like a beast. You're being treated like a beast because nobody can trust you to follow your heart and do the right thing. But when the law is removed and all is pure, you realize in your heart you would never do that to anybody else. So why would you ever think that anybody would ever do it to you? It's an interesting conundrum that we find ourselves in. And these things I talk about because I've been through it. myself. And if there's anything that I'm able to share that people can glean from an experience and come up out of that paradigm into life, into creating, into being that sovereign, divine, unique, beautifully made being that you are, with all gifts, nothing is off limits. Even when I was doing the description from the devil, you've got a hedge of protection around you. Where did that hedge of protection come from? It came from within you, your toroidal field, that energy force that surrounds you. You. And you're the only one that allows anyone to come in or out of that hedge of protection. Your sovereignty. Do you not remember the very breath of life that has animated your being? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? That's why I say the Bible can be used as a weapon, but it can also be used as a tool to your freedom, to your sovereignty, to your beauty. The answers are there if you can rightly divide the word and have that understanding. I do not want to be an accuser running around accusing people or judging others based on my lack of understanding of the words that I'm reading, my lack of heart. The 2 commandments that we were given was to love God and to love our neighbors as ourselves. And again, it starts with self-love. You have to come out from underneath thinking that you're not worthy, thinking that you're a sinner, all of that stuff. Come out from underneath of that because it's oppressing you. And just by saying that, just like think about when you were a little child and you knew no better until it was brought to your attention and you were taught such things. You didn't think like that. You didn't think mine, yours, you're bad, I'm good. You didn't judge like that when you were playing with other little children around you. It wasn't until we started to learn separation that we started to then grow into separation and then start judging other things. To reclaim your innocence of being a child, that childlike innocence in an adult body is a beautiful, beautiful understanding. It's within all of us. The law oppresses. No one is justified by the law, whether it be through government, law enforcement, or religion law. No one is justified. Has anybody taken a look at the law library, like for attorneys now? There's laws that have been on the books that should have been taken off hundreds of years ago, but they keep building on, building on, building on. So now you can walk down the street at a certain time of night and be arrested, and you're like, what? And then they can dredge up a law that is, over 200 years old. Maybe a woman should not be out on the street exercising and walking alone. She should be chaperoned. Maybe that's a law. I'm just using this as an example. Maybe that's a law that's centuries old, okay? But they could pull that up on the books and then arrest you, detain you, and then have your attorney will have to go in and find a case where that was overruled, and they'll have to dig out, all that information in order to reclaim your freedom. So whether it be under a governmental body of laws or a religious law, they're putting you into subjection, not allowing, your expression, the divineness within you to be, which by our nature, we do not want to hurt, harm, take away from anybody's rights to be, to move, to express, as long as they're not trying to oppress our expression. Why would we ever, want to take away from their expressing? We're not here to be automatons. We're not here to be cookie cutouts of one another. We're here to be sovereign, unique expressions, beautiful in all ways. You are already that. It's just a matter of perceiving it. It's a matter, you've got to walk it out. It's a narrow path, as I've said many times, because you're the only one on it. The discernment comes within you. Discern whether you're judging and acting like somebody who's higher than somebody else and putting people down to make yourself feel better, does that make you feel better? To gossip or talk behind other people's backs about things that, maybe third or fourth hand information? No, I'm not telling you not to seek counsel when somebody's directly harmed you. Of course, we have all rights to seek counsel when something has directly been thrown at us, directed at us to do us harm, or has threatened in some shape, form, or manner. To seek counsel is something that has happened. It's an event, an experience that you're having. So, yeah, that's not gossip. I think people have even forgotten what gossip is. Gossip is like, you think about gossip. Let me get a drink. Excuse me for a moment, guys. Okay. Gossip is embellishing. Gossip is fables. Gossip is making up untruths to make yourself look better, better than another. And so you make things up, fables, and spread them amongst others. Trying to lift yourself up to a platitude or a platform of better than, less than your brothers and sisters. God made us all, and He's not a respecter of persons. He made us all equal, loves us all equally. Our Creator loves each and every one of us equally. I know that it is hard for people to wrap their mind around, especially when there's still people twisted and causing harm to others. But once you know in your heart of hearts who they are and what their true identity is, no matter how confused they are, it doesn't matter. You still walk away wanting the best, highest good for them always. You never want harm to befall them. If anything, you've got that hope for the glory to be revealed within them. But it can only be done by the things that they do, the seeking, knocking, and pursuing. If you are after the truth and you are seeking wholeheartedly, you will receive it. You'll get it. It's going to happen. And it is a complete paradigm shift. This place looks completely different. The heavens look different. The earth looks different. Every person looks different. I mean, it's a complete shifting of your perspective and paradigm. I don't see or judge on things, when people are confused. I just walk away because I don't need to be, like I said, and neither do you, abused, oppressed, or mistreated by anybody. We're equal. God's not a respecter of persons. And once you have that love, when you feel that love that God Almighty, or you call Him Father, Source, Creator of all, has for you, and how pure that love is, and how we each have it equally. The equally doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a better than, less than thing. It is so pure and so breathtaking that, talk about your cup runneth over. And, everybody having that same love poured into them, no matter if they're having an identity crisis or not, equally. It's such a pure love that it's beyond our comprehension. While we are in this state having these experiences, we can't understand the divine plan. We can't think from God's perspective, but we can resonate with it. We can, as we say, connect back up. You are already connected. The only thing that is keeping your connection from flowing is lack of understanding, lack of knowledge. My people die from lack of knowledge. Yes, I tend to quote the Bible, but the Bible, that's what I was raised with. And I'm telling you guys, That the same book that got me confused is the same book that will get me out of it. That got me out of it. So I'm not telling you to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm saying to rightly divide. Realize if you're being an accuser, realize who the accuser of the brethren is. Is that what you want to be? Is that what you want to project out around you? You know, we are here at a time that, generations had been waiting with bated breath to manifest within their lifetime. Here we are in the thick of it, guys. We're seeing things change right before our eyes. We're watching the sky phenomena. We're watching people's energetic fields, their heart, express out and around them as they are able to capture these things and share them with one another. We're seeing the beauty. We're seeing things replenish themselves right before us, like in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. You'll think something's dried up and dead, and bam, it's back to life and flourishing. We've seen people come back to life. We're seeing changes on a daily basis, having us understand this place flows. It grows and flows with how we are perceiving and projecting out around us. Somebody can be walking in confusion and have a hellish experience here. You can walk in peace and love and may have things come up or crop up from confusion of others in your life. But how do you handle it? Do you handle it with love, or do you go after vengeance? Hey, I'm not perfect. I have to capture my thoughts. When somebody does direct things towards me, it hurts. I'm not going to lie. But I capture my thoughts. I do the best that I can. I know who you are. I know who I am. And it took, I've been going through this for decades. And I've been having these amazing, phenomenal dreams here lately that are just so off the charts. And I'm going to talk to my co-host and see if he wants to, do, the science or any kind of work on the energetics that flow from our body through thought and dreams, and from the magnification of our heart, the electrical circuits of our mind, this beautiful avatar that we have this experience, within while we're here, expanding and growing, about the, and then of course about these phenomenal off the chart dreams that I've been having that are just, whoo, you guys. I mean, up and away we go. I mean, jeez, we're well into it. So put away that looking for the man of sin. Put away waiting. What are you waiting for? There's nothing to wait for. It's now. It's within you. Seek, knock, find. You will get the answers. It's a promise. It's been a promise. It's always been a promise. I've also, maybe it is, I was thinking on this because I've talked about, seeing people like age regress and just looking so healthy and beautiful. And maybe it's the inner beauty within them that I'm seeing. I don't know. I'm still seeking and praying on an answer to that. But it could very well be that I'm seeing their heart reflecting out and around them on their avatar. Not sure. Still working that one out. There's always something new being unveiled to us. But we're moving into a new time, a new understanding of who we are. Identifying ourselves for what we are, who we are, then gives us the possibility and infinite possibilities of changing our perspectives, changing our paradigm, vibration at a higher level, as some would call it, because you now know who you are. And by knowing who you are, you then recognize who everybody else is around you. It's a phenomenal understanding to have within us. And it is here for the taking for everybody, all in equal portions. As I've used that example several times, the parable of the ones who worked all day in the field, the half the day in the field, and then the last hour in the field, but they all were paid the same. Right there shows you the equality of the love that the Creator has for each and every one of us. The reward is the same no matter when you start your walk, when you start seeking, knocking, understanding, coming out of the double-minded into the loving truth of the infinite possibilities that we're able to do here through our thoughts, our heart, coming out of a beast system where we put monetary value on everything, even ourselves. You know, you're not worth this much money because you don't have these pieces of paper. Guys, I went to college, come on. There's not much that I learned in college that actually applied into the field that I went into for the degree that I received. Put that one in your mind and think about it. The experience was so much different than anything that I was taught. Now, I had a basic fundamental understanding, but when you go and you're taught, my minor was in accounting, and you're doing it, by hand in paper books, which is good to know how to do paper books. But then you go and you're actually in the workforce, and everybody has different software and different ways. It's either double entry accounting or single entry accounting, and then as you set up the accounts, you got to automatically set up that second if it's a single entry accounting bookkeeping software, things like that. Well, that wasn't taught in school. Come on, guys. That was through experience. But anybody that walked into that building, I could easily show them how to do the debit, credit, and write budgets and things like that. You don't need a degree to learn those things. You can go in and by your experience have that understanding within you. So placing value on pieces of paper and worth into what we remember about history or historical facts. And now that the Mandela effect is in our awareness now, what do you think about history, guys? How reliable is history? Knowing that this place grows, fluctuates, flows energetically as we do. This place, to some, looks like a madhouse, chaos. And to others looks like that people, you get really confused right before you get complete clarity. So before that clear veil, that veil is dropped and you stop seeing through the glass darkly, and that veil is removed and you're seeing. You got the eyes to see and the ears to hear with perfect 20/20 vision. It looks a little chaotic. And then you have that aha moment. And once you see, you can't unsee. It's something that you keep growing consistently in daily on your walk. There's always something here for us to grow into. This is not a boring place. It used to be, but it definitely is not anymore. So I'm hoping that by showing you that those different slides and talking about my own experiences with falling into this confusion, and one of the dreams that I just had just last night was that I was given a manila envelope, and the manila envelope said 2000 on it. You guys have often heard me talk about in the year 2000. I started leaving my body and I started having vivid dreams, and we started walking through it. So in my dream, I was given this manila envelope. It said 2000. And I was like, oh my gosh, this envelope's not open. And then I was told, revisit that. This was before I had the dream in 2012. And I twisted myself all up. I twisted myself up with harsh taskmasters preaching and teaching law to me, shaking my faith in the finished work, not allowing myself to move about under the grace. So I fell under law, and I had to come out from underneath of that. And if I can help anybody to not have that happen in their faith walk, in your awakening, and to avoid that, because it's hard. Once you fall under law, it's hard to come back out from underneath of it. It's not an easy walk. I've never sugarcoated this with anybody. But if there's things that can be avoided by staying in the grace, walk in the finished work, continuously growing in your gifts, recognizing who you are, the beauty and the uniqueness. There's only one of you, and you're it. Here to have your expansion, your experience, and growth. You guys, we are not cookie cutouts of one another. So we don't need to all think alike. We don't need to worship alike. We don't need to, judge alike or condemn alike or lift up alike or any of those things. That's the divine thing about this place, is none of that matters. Those are our constructs that we put in place through our mind, through our creation. By creating those, we have put those in place. Since we're the ones who created those, we're easily the ones able to remove them. Okay? It's really, the simplicity of it, it sounds simple, but really to come out from underneath of things that we have put ourselves or subjugated ourselves under is a lot more difficult, especially where we're at here. And you've got many, many voices, and you can heap up. You guys, if anybody has any questions for what I'm discussing, highlight my name in the chat so that way I can see it and read it. And otherwise, I'm just kind of flowing where this is going. What happens is that there's a lot. There is many that will teach that the law, and that and put under religious doctrines. And I'm not talking about one faith or another, or one religion or another. I'm talking about several. There's several that will teach the peace and grace and flow in it, and then there's groups that will teach the works and law, and so there's many voices out there that are in that state, which causes confusion on where do I turn, who do I listen to, who is correct and who is not. Well, the one thing that I recommend is you not listen to anybody, even including myself. We're here to share, expand. I share my testimony so you can glean from it, but you should discern what I'm saying. The one who has all the answers within is you. And from seeking and knocking and pursuing, it will be revealed within you. The truth will be revealed within you. You don't need to heap up many, many teachers that are propagating or postulating themselves into a position of you're less than, or you're a sinner, you're filthy, or you're less than. You can seek from within and find out how God really feels about you. That's what I recommend. When you find out how God really feels about you, it's a definite paradigm shift, completely different perspective. And things change all around you in a twinkling of an eye, so to speak. So, I share things on here, like I said, because they were part of my experience. And if there's some parts of my experience that was like things that I put myself under, maybe I put myself under these things so that I can be giving my testimony now to warn others to not make the same mistakes, or to help others pull themselves out. Because no matter where you're at in your walk, you can, if you put yourself under law, you can snap yourself right back out of it very quickly, just by continuing to seek, knock, and have it revealed within you. Within you, within you, within you. So, Rainbow Supernatural Paranormal, I love that name. Depends on the heart's desires, perhaps. Yeah, well, people say, and again, I gave that analogy earlier of the neighbor. Would you want to harm your neighbor? I wouldn't. So why do I think my neighbor wants to harm me? It doesn't make sense. So, and again, if you missed the beginning, I talked about the children with the crayons or the toys playing together innocently as the moms are having coffee, and you got a little play date with the, either, you're 3 and they're 3 or they're 4, where before you learn that this is mine and this is yours, and if I break your stuff, I have to pay for it, or punishment or separation. Before we have learned any of that, try to remember that time where there wasn't a mine yours, where you played together as equals, enjoying each other's company. That will show you the purity. But walk in that purity as an adult. And as we're going through this revelation, this beautiful period of restoration, and the scales are falling off people's eyes daily, seeing what we used to call paranormal phenomena on a daily basis. We have people like Moneybag 73 who reveals Mandela effects. They call it Nelson Mandela after Nelson Mandela, but really what loving knowledge that this place has always been that way, and that we were such in lockstep with one another from listening to the voices outside of us instead of realizing the connection that we have above, and that we were in kind of a hive mind think that we made this place solid and immovable by our stinking thinking. And when this place is of plenty, there will be no oil shortages, there will be no food shortages. This place is bountiful. The only time there would ever be a shortage is if we think it, we perceive it. If we perceive it, we're putting energy into it. If we're putting energy, then we're creating it. E equals MC squared. So your energy goes into matter created squared. Yeah. That may not have been the exact words that Einstein used, but that's how it was described to me in a dream. Just to take that, that Einstein and just put it in an easy way to follow. So then what will you do? What will you do if you know that it comes from within you? Do you want anybody to go hungry? Do you want anybody to go without? I don't. I want plenty for everyone, so there won't be any lack. And also, not only can we help with one another when we, on the quantum level, begin to have, lose the double-minded or the identity crisis, and have the understanding of who we are to one another and who we have always been, until that confusion is removed. In your direct vicinity, in your area where you are walking daily, it will reflect around you what's going on within you. So, if you have come out of the double-minded, if you're not judging, if you're loving people unconditionally, and you know that we're all brothers and sisters, and understand the power that is within all of us, whether you're asleep to the wonderful powers within you or you're aware, you can still walk through a heavenly experience here. You will see a new heaven. You will see different things around you than somebody who may be still confused, having an identity crisis. That's, to put it really simply, that's all it is a lack of understanding of who we are, and who we are to one another. One is not better than another. And once we pull ourselves and get the scales off, and our hearts are just burst open, our minds are brand new perspective, we won't see such things that we deem as harmful or crimes against one another. Because where there is no law, there is no crime. And when you are pure in your heart, you desire no harm. You sit there and we'll play together. There won't be my stuff and your stuff. It's our stuff. There won't be, you break it, you replace it, or I'm going to sue you, or there won't be any of that, because we realized that was just a mistaken identity. Okay, let me give you guys a channel shout out. I when I got gonna do lives, they're gonna have to be early because when I tried to do the one at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it was so hot. It is so hot in this area that it was. I mean, I had to really cut it short because I mean I was just like, but nice and early in the morning like this, not overheating. I can flow with the information and display it to everybody. I want to say hello to everybody. So if you're I haven't said anything in a little bit, say something so I can say hi to you. Okay, we've got the wonderful Dead GPK. Hi, Drink Water. Hi, Go Kart Bob. Olivia Luke. And Rainbow Supernatural Paranormal. Yeah, I love that name. And I like your little emoji thing too. Your little icon. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, Magic Sister. Olivia Luke. I'm just gonna scroll up because I don't like to miss anybody. A Pacific Northwest 360 Bear. Inner Knowing 221. Red Pill Paul. Because when I pull up the participation list, it only gives me like for the last like 60 seconds or something. So if you hadn't said anything in 60 seconds, it may still be here, but it doesn't show you. I'm so so I apologize. Patrick Roberts, our new timeline. Kate Wright. Oh, she's awesome. You guys are all awesome. You're very, very, I mean, very near, very dear. Brian Stabley was in the house. Okay. Guys, check out Brian Stabley. He's pretty much awesome sauce. He walks the walk that he talks, and he shows us, by doing certain things that, he's not being defiant. It's not an act of defiance. It's an act of truth and going beyond the identity crisis and showing openly the truth about us and walking it out and recording it and sharing it with everybody. Drink water. I wake now. Oh, great stream. Okay. Thank you. If you at my name, it will show up like really bold tonight. If you guys have any questions about what I'm talking about, what I'm sharing, the paradigm shift, because I really want to put this topic to rest as soon as possible. I know it will be revisited, over and over as time goes, as we grow, as people are letting go, and when we are going through this process, things that we've cleaved to the things that we were brought up with, the things that we learn that were in error. Sometimes it's real hard to let go of that stuff. I mean, really hard. So that's why we're here. This is what this platform is for. It's to share awesome phenomena that is going on as the gifts from your DNA is being unlocked, or chakra centers are cleared. People will call it either a Kundalini awakening, Holy Spirit baptism, many different names for a sensation that overcomes, that is so beautiful and purifying that it can only be from the divine, just affirming to us that God has never left us or forsook us, ever, ever, ever. Okay, what you got here? Rainbow Supernatural Paranormal. We met on Jam's channel. Nice. Oh, I love Jimmy Jams. About a year ago, I think. It was a Mandela effect. Was our common interest. At the time, UFOs. Look into the photos. It was reflections of sun rays through thick. Oh, did it? It must have cut your thing out. I want to say something about like UFOs or different things like that. I am not going to put a limit to what anybody here can create. If you think that there are UFOs, and then from my understanding, you can manifest that and experience it. So who am I to say what is true to you and what is not? The only thing that I can, that my house, that solid foundation that it is built on, is is rock, which is who we are to one another, our hearts, our mind, and what we are able to do here. That I know. But what we do and what we create, what we manifest, what we walk through, what we experience goes into the collective, and then it is dispersed out and we walk through it. You may all see UFOs. I don't know. How many people believe there's UFOs without a shadow of a doubt? It's when doubt creeps in that what you are putting your faith or what you're trying to create crumbles. If there's a shred of doubt, it dissipates. But if you believe with your heart of hearts that you have experienced a UFO, you don't have any doubt in your mind, and that's what you're putting, in to keep this place interesting. This place is made to be interesting. It's for growth and expansion. So why would we not, do that? And then others can experience and grow. It's amazing. This place is, understanding of this place is fantastic compared to the short amount of time that we're actually here. I mean, sometimes it seems like it's long and drug out, or we're not feeling well, or this is going on, or sometimes paradigm shifts and not doubting can remove even illnesses, tumors, miraculous healings. I lost a lot of weight without changing my diet. My doctor was like, "What are you doing to lose the weight?" It was completely a different perception of food. I looked at it for enjoyment. I lost the thought of through the lips to the hips completely. And then I enjoyed the food for what it was, being thankful for it, and I had no doubt, and I lost the weight. It melted off. It's on my medical records. You guys can check them out. So, I mean, it's naturally supernatural here. Now, I'm going to finish this up because, like I said in the beginning, the link for the IMEC conference is in the description box, and they should be getting ready to start here pretty quick. And they have 15 guest speakers. They also do live panels right after they speak. Then they come together for Q&A where we can have questions answered live. As you're watching them, they pick questions that you may have, and then they come on live together and then answer the questions. I believe that the shares are pre-recorded and played as a premiere, but then they actually do have a live panel from questions that are gathered during that we may have of a little more detail on what they're sharing. They gather up those questions and do a live panel and answer them for us live. So that is in the description box. It's going to stay in the description box all week long, so that way it's easy to access for everybody. One other thing I wanted to talk about is there is a social media spot that is private, and if people, this is just some maintenance administrators we've met, and if you come in under a YouTube handle or things like that, you will be removed, and it is nothing against you personally. We don't hide in there, but it's a very small group. So those who are in there, we don't want to change it to be open to invite people that you think will appreciate it. We don't want to change that. Make sure that they're people that you know before inviting them into this this small private group, because we want safety first. Always online hygiene. Always want to take care of one another. So that was the maintenance that I wanted to do about that particular format. It seems to be growing, and we will appoint more people to help out with that space as needed, as the administrators meet up and discuss where we move into to keep it manageable and safe for everybody. The place is actually built for people to share interesting information, links, their own links, So we're aware when they go live or when they have posted, and places where they glean from and things like that. That could help the entire group so we have access to them. And also to post back and forth daily comments, changes that we're seeing, phenomena, anything. It's we don't want to put restrictions on one another, but we do want to be careful about who we allow in, so we don't have to put restrictions on one another. So I think that is about it. I do want to bring up again, I do have channel membership. If you guys don't like a channel membership, comment below and I'll just remove it. That there's 3 tiers to pick from. It's as little as like $1.99 a month. You get different emojis that are special just for you to use. Your name turns a different color. You also will show up in top chat, and you get this little set of wings next to your name, so then I know that you're actually helping support the platform, because the community support helps tremendously. So especially with all the weirdness going on, they can't affect that. That's something that if they try to flag or do different things, they can't affect that area of support. That comes from viewership and and things of that nature. So when we're live, you show up as a different color. You show up in top chat. You get different or special little emojis that only you can use, and you get wings next to your name. They're kind of cute. So anyways, just let me know if that's like something that's just like off-putting. If it is, I'll just take it down. Because I do want to be able to offer this for people who don't have much. I'm not trying to block access. I am one of those people who doesn't have much. So I try to do the best I can to provide you guys with the best. And people, a few people have supported and helped, and it is accepted with much gratitude. Now, make sure that those are simulation of what happens in space, not meant to look real. Okay, Go-Kart Bob. Cool. And yeah, Jimmy Jams is awesome. And each of these people, they're so different. Their platforms are so unique. They're so different, and we're not meant to be the same. If every one of these platforms, even Brian Stavely, he has his flavor. I don't want to watch a bunch of that are talking and doing like the same as what I'm doing. That would be boring. I would like to see colorful. I like to see expressions. My gosh, I love the Skywatchers. You guys, have you checked out Skywatchers yet? I mean, you can see their heart reflected around them, seeing rainbow clouds with light bending on the opposite end of, how it's supposed to reflect. What? A long time ago, my son came in the garage and took a picture of me, and light was going in or out from my eye, my eye area, and from my heart, and the light was on the wrong side of this shelf. It was weird. My son sat where my husband normally does, and seeing this with his naked eye, snapped a picture of it and gave it to me. Now that was a heck of a phenomena, and when you see that in Skywatchers, it's kind of like we get glimpses of what is going on, and puzzle pieces, and we put them together. We get those glimpses, and when I watch Skywatchers, and it's of their own, not where they've collected, because some of them actually do montages from collections from different submissions, which is awesome too. But when you can see that it's theirs, and they're showing, you can see the beautiful heart that they have within them. You can tell whether you can trust that person wholeheartedly. I've learned so much just from that phenomena. And we got the Mandela effect community. We've got, the Dark Wolf Den, Rippin' Rabbit, be you, express you. You are beautiful. Uh-oh. Did the stream lock up? I hope not, because it's saying that the OBS is having some issues. Well, on that note, I will go ahead and close it up. Thank you, Dead GPK. You're so awesome. You're always being so supportive. You're just, thank you so very, 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 very much. Guys, go to IMEC if you want to check out some of those amazing chats or the conference conversations. They go beyond the Mandela effect. It's not just talking about effects that we've seen. They are actually talking about what's beyond the Mandela effect. Where do we go from the Mandela effect? Theories, possibilities, probabilities, spirituality, growth, revelations that are coming to them over time. It's amazing. It is absolutely off the charts phenomenal. And my gratitude always to the Dark Wolf for starting this last year and being so successful and making it accessible, even with everything going on, to each of us at home. So, always, guys, share what you know and listen so we can grow. And tomorrow night, we want to hear from you. What's going on in your world? What are you experiencing? Share it. It is safe here. Everything, there's nothing off the table. There's nothing that would be so mind blowing. You can bend my mind, you may blow my mind, but it's not that I would ever think that what you're telling me is impossible, because I believe in the supernatural. I believe that we are naturally supernatural. This phenomenon goes way beyond, anything that we can even grasp or try to label. And so I look forward to the call-in shows on what you guys have to share. So I will see you guys then, and have yourself a wonderful day. Seek, knock, receive, connect, discern, and have that renewal of your heart and your mind and radiate it around you, all about walking that peace that's beyond comprehension, that unique, sovereign, divine being that you are. It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.